So this fine gentleman, Zohran Mamdani, may just become the next mayor of New York City. And if that happens, the city is doomed. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the relatively unknown upstart Democratic Socialist, aka Communist, Zohran Mamdani, winning the Democratic Party's primary in New York City's mayoral race. What this means is, in the general election in November, he'll run up against Eric Adams, the current New York City mayor, because Eric Adams is an independent, not Democrat or Republican. Now, there could be a Republican in the race. If there is one, I have no idea who that person is, and I don't think it matters because it's New York City. They're not going to vote Republican because they voted for this guy to be the Democratic Party nominee, and he beat Andrew Cuomo, who had been the governor 3 times. So that's a pretty lofty task to accomplish. So if you do that, again, I don't think you're going to vote a Republican at all. It'll be between the current mayor, Eric Adams, and the new guy, Zohran Mamdani. Now, as I said from the very beginning, if they elect this guy, New York City is doomed. This guy is a stone cold stomp down communist, 100%. And if he's not, I can't tell. The things that he said on the campaign trail should give anybody cause for concern. Thank God I don't live in New York City. For you guys who live up there, I feel really bad for you. It might be time to head for the hills. It might be time to join your neighbors in Florida, Tennessee, or whatever, as long as you don't bring a New York City craziness with you. Now, before I go any further, let's get straight to some videos here. This is going to be his, I guess you would say, acceptance speech after he won the Democratic Party's primary out there in New York City. I'll link to this video and anything else I'll show in the description box. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, we made history. In the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done. My friends, we have done it. I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City.
And the crowd goes wild. They love him a lot out there in New York. They love him quite a bit. Now, here's a little bit from him. He was out there on the campaign trail, so you get an idea of who this guy is and what he's about.
I think that New Yorkers, more than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there are different parts of my life.
Let's pause before he gets to the whole, different accents. He is Indian, okay, but he was born in Kampala, Uganda, and then he moved to South Africa, and then he came to New York City when he was 7 years old. So a little bit of background about him. Let's keep on going.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way.
Wow, an actor? Really? Okay, you were in this movie called Queen of Katwe. Have you guys seen that? I'm not a Disney bro, but maybe you guys have seen it. Let me know in the comments.
Here in New York City, this is how I speak, because I think that New Yorkers more...
All right, there we go. So very interesting. An actor. Okay. Now let's hear from him out there on the campaign again. You can see him with the TikTok microphone in front of his face, trying to appeal to the young audience, which he did. Got to give him credit. Let's watch.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zohran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices.
You talking like USSR? Ain't that what they do over there? This sounds just like USSR. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe you guys know more than me. Maybe I'm ignorant. Let me just not interrupt and let them continue.
Not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you. Grocery prices?
Okay, so it's funny how, a lot of these democratic socialist communists will accuse people like me, okay, you guys are capitalists, you hate the people or whatever, but you're trying to give these stores the ability to not pay no taxes and do whatever they want to do. All in the name of trying to help you. Hey, they'll pass those savings on to you. Okay, let's see how that works. Let's see how that works. Now, this is going to be a CNN clip featuring Joy Reid talking about the situation. Let's check it out.
Evidence that Mamdani would return New York City to the 1970s hellhole Times Square. What is your evidence of that?
It's very simple. So he wants to raise taxes on people who make the most money. What eventually is going to happen is you're going to lose that tax base. Once you lose that tax base, our bonds will get degraded. Now the city budget will not be substantial enough to subsidize not only the cops, but the fire department, the sanitation department. Once you start losing Wall Street and people who pay $11,000, $12,000 a month to live on the Upper East Side, you're done. Let me
ask
you. And you go back to the 70s when Gerald Ford said to New York, drop dead.
Okay, but hold on, Arthur.
Crisis.
But Arthur, just as
let him talk. Like, why interrupt him? He was cooking with straight fish oil, avocado oil, all of that. He was cooking. Let him continue.
somebody who is just listening to you, you raise the taxes on wealthy people in this city. Maybe a couple percent, right?
They're already at 50%.
Yeah, they're already
53%.
and that's exactly my point.
Where they're
already paying some of the high. I know, Arthur, but
I guess her point is they're already paying a lot, so if they pay a little bit more, it's still going to be a lot. What's the difference? The problem is you're pushing them to the point where they say, okay, no more. You're already on the edge. You're going to push them over the edge, and they say, you know what, I'm done. And then not only will you raise taxes on these people who don't want to pay any more taxes because they're already taxed to death as it is, the quality of life in the city will diminish with a guy like Zohran in there. So you're making them pay more money for a lesser experience. Why would they do that? They're going to go straight to Florida and take their cash with them.
Arthur, they are already paying, right at this moment, some of the highest taxes in the country. And you think that 1 or 2% is going to cause a mass exodus out of New York?
Anna just said it's correct. It already has started.
I just want to be clear that that's what you're saying, because I think that seems pretty extreme.
Because he's also not going to focus on crime. Right now you have Police Commissioner Tisch and John Chell, the chief of the department. Crime in the city of New York right now is set to break all records as the lowest ever in recorded history for shootings and murders. Once that starts going up in the other direction, and the tax base is gone, and sanitation is gone, and schools are gone.
Very simple. Very, very simple. I mean, it's common sense. It's obvious common sense. And you can hear from the accent, he's a New Yorker. He knows what he's talking about. He's right on point. Okay, now, here's Eric Adams reacting to it. Now, remember, Eric Adams is the current New York City mayor. He'll run again in November in a general election against Zohran. Zohran is a Democrat. He won a Democratic primary. Eric Adams is an independent. Now, I think before he ran and won as a Democrat, but now he's an independent. So, independent versus Democrat in the November general election. Check him out.
The mayor, it's not just defund the police, this candidate, Democratic Socialist. He wants to freeze the rent. He wants city-run grocery stores, social workers to replace the police because that's going to help. He wants $60 billion of debt fund for affordable housing. He wants free buses, no cost for childcare, baby baskets for newborn, and a $30 minimum wage.
Also, he wants to give like $62 million for children to have gender reassignment surgery or treatment therapy, whatever he wants to call it. He wants to allow children to become trans and dedicate city money to do it.
How can someone vote for this?
He's a snake oil salesman. Mm-hmm. He will say and do anything to get elected. Think about this for a moment. He wants to raise 1%. He wants to raise tax on 1% of New York's high-income earners. As the mayor, you don't have the authority to do that. You know who has the authority to do that? An assemblyman, which he is. He wants to do free buses. He could have done it at assemblyman. He doesn't understand the power of government and how you must making sure you improve your economy, raise the standard of living. And this is what we've done in the city. And I'm looking forward to being on the campaign trail and showing New Yorkers we can't go backwards. And New Yorkers never surrender or quit. I'm never going to quit for the city that I love.
There we go. So again, shout out to Eric Adams. He is the current mayor of New York City. He'll run as an independent up against Zohran, who has won the Democratic Party's primary in the city over the not one, not two, but three-term governor Andrew Cuomo, which is a big accomplishment. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to New York City. I hope and pray that you guys will be okay with this guy in there if he wins in November, which he probably will, because it doesn't look good. All these promises, free buses and free this and free that and tax this and tax that, and it doesn't look good. We've heard promises like this before. We've seen them not come true. And if some of the things do come true, you're not going to like the results if you're living inside the city. I guarantee you that. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Zohran Mamdani? And if I got the name wrong, if I pronounced it wrong, please forgive me. But whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think what Eric Adams said at the end right there was right on point. Snake oil salesman. You say anything, okay, I'm going to give everybody, 40 acres in the mule. I'm going to give everybody a brand new pony. They're going to get a lifetime supply of McDonald's, all kind of just random stuff that you know ain't really going to come true. And if it does come true, you're not going to like the ancillary effects. Okay, you're going to raise taxes. All right, well, now we're going to have the tax base diminish, and we're going to see quality of life overall for all New Yorkers diminish. Who wants that? You're going to see them big rat the size of cats explode. You're going to see things you don't want to see after this guy tries to accomplish his stated goals, which he probably will not be very successful at. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.